Good evening, boys and girls, and welcome to After Hours at the Stinkbug Works. It's after 5 o'clock, and jet juice has been replaced with grape juice. Well, let me tell you, boys and girls, it's been a long day. And there's probably not a whole lot new here other than I've shuffled things around. Miss Piggy here needs to be re-evaluated. Fortunately, nothing's glued in yet except for the rock-solid fins. And they could actually be exacerbating my problem because my problem is getting this stupid thing to balance without putting, 8 pounds of lead up in the front. Anyway, here's what I'm doing. I'm going back and rethinking things. My original plan was this really cool 1005 motor. It's about, what did I say it was? 4,500 RPM per volt. It's a screamer. It's a monster, but it's a 200 watt motor, and it's made for, well, this is what I'm running in my my shrimp boat. And my shrimp boat runs 45 miles an hour on 2S. That's acceptable. And it's running this little motor. But this little motor, I don't think would do really well hauling this overweight pig around. This is a 200 watt motor. And remember my watts per pound discussion? I would really like to see 150 to 200 watts per pound. So at two pounds, give or take, I'd like to see 400 watts twice what this can put out. So this may not be a good choice for that motor or this haul, just based on that rule of thumb of, a whole lot of watts per pound. One of the reasons this thing got so heavy is I had to run all these batteries up here in the sponsons to keep it to balance. Well, that's a good thing and a bad thing. The problem with 2S setups, now getting a 2S setup to run good is a challenge because they gain weight really fast because the 2S motors, they eat amps. They just consume them like nobody's business. And so you got to have big batteries, and big batteries, big weight, high currents and the like. And I think it's time to ditch the idea of a 2S setup on this boat and go to a 3S setup. And for a 3S setup, I'll tell you what I'm thinking. This is the 1005. They make 1105. This is the 1105. They also make an 1107 and an 1110. Now, I'm thinking the 1110 is a 400 watt motor. I can put 400 watts through it, and if I up the voltage, I'll drop the current to keep the same wattage. So I may put a 1110 in here that'll turn about 3,500 RPM per volt. I'll look. I think he's got one that's 3650. I think that's a 1 1/4 Y, and so I may do that and put a bigger motor, more weight forward of the sponson, and smaller batteries. What I may do is, because this tends to fit these airsoft batteries, I can get 3 1S 1S batteries in one pack, wired together, and I can kind of slide all three of them in there at once. So I can have 3S and 3S of, and I think it was these same 1,200 packs. So it'd just be like three of these in here, connected with a. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking now. I did start shaving away. Material on this larger piece. I cut this off, and I cut some of this off, and this piece that will eventually get glued into here, I'll cut a hole in it, and away we go. I have bearings now for my 5 millimeter shaft. Some very nice high precision ceramic ball bearings. So these will be a lot smoother and more precise than the other setup. So I'm still going to have to do this to get the motor forward. I'm just going to put a bigger motor in there and smaller batteries. Shorten my runtime, but oh well. That's the nature of the beast. So what do you guys think? Oh, hang on. I'm going to have a glass of wine with you guys and girls. There has to be one woman on the planet that runs these things. Anyway, I will have a drink to you. Okay, boys and girls, until next time, jet out. Welcome back, boys and girls, to just some little additional thinking. See, I haven't touched much of my wine yet. But that'll come in good due time. Get a load of something I've discovered. And I want to share this with you and see if you're with me on the same page when increasing the power and changing the cell count. Now get a load of this. There's no batteries in here at all, just a motor. And look, with just the motor, it balances. Now, I think I'm going to add some stuff back here, but put some batteries back in there, and I'm pretty darn close. And it wouldn't take that much battery to counteract what little bit I have in here. Now, here's the 1105. I keep calling this a 1005 because this is actually the grandson of the original motor, which was a 1005. This is an 1105. It's slightly larger to increase the efficiency with a larger stator. But back to this. It balances, and there it is. There's my little motor mount, and it fits in there. But look at the motor I stuck in there. Now this motor, why, Shazam. That's, this is an 1120. And I was fooling around. Here's an 1112. And I think that's a little bit big. I think the 1107 is a bit small. I think we're going to have to go with an 1110 of the appropriate kV. And I think the bigger motor, I can slide that motor up in here. And the motor, I think, is more dense than the batteries. So getting the motor up there, I can get away with a smaller 3S pack. I can get a stupid high RPM of, let's just say, somewhere around 35,000. If I look at 35,000 on 11.1 volts, what would that be? That'd be like I said, 3,500 RPM per volt, somewhere around there. And we could see what happens. We could say, oh, get a load of this. I said this was the grandson of the 1005. There's a 1005 right there. That's an Aviox 1005, which was the father of the new 1005. There you go. Okay, boys and girls, enough rambling. I'm going to drink some wine. You guys have a good evening. Until next time, jet out.